Okay, it's about 10 p.m. on Monday, December 30th, and did a lot of driving today. I'm doing another little like 2 day, 2.5 little thing for fun before I have to go back into the real world on Thursday, January 2nd. So I'm just gonna run through some news stories, and I might do that a couple times this evening. So the Wall Street Journal comes out with an article today. Joe Biden leaves office believing he could have won, which again, it's like, I think our media let us down this year in dramatic fashion. And one of the most criminally neglected and underreported stories in 2024 and probably 2023 and 2022 was the significant decline in Joe Biden's cognitive abilities. And I mean, during June and July, the month where he had the debate with Trump, and then I think it was July 21st when he finally withdrew from the race, his campaign's internal polling showed Donald Trump winning nearly 400 electoral college votes. That is an absolute wipeout and a landslide. And it would have dragged down Senate candidates, House candidates, state legislature candidates, governors, Democrats running for other statewide offices across the country. I mean, if he'd have stayed in the race, you could be looking at Republicans having 60 seats in the Senate, and 250 seats in the House. And he is leaving office believing that him withdrawing from the campaign is a mistake because he believes that he could have beaten Donald Trump. So he's not all there. There's that story. Let me find House Ethics Probe. Who cares? Elon Musk is apparently camping out at Mar-a-Lago. Donald Trump is bragging to people that he's renting a cabana or something. Elon Musk is renting a cabana from Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago for like $2,000 a month, a cottage. Mr. Musk has been using one of the cottages available for rent at Mar-a-Lago. The cottage where Elon Musk has been staying, it has a name. The name of the cottage is Banyan Cottage, and it is several hundred feet away from the main house. Staying right on the grounds has helped Mr. Musk with easy access to Mr. Trump, and Elon can drop in on Mr. Trump's dinners, as he did recently when Trump was having dinner with Amazon founder, Musk's rival, Jeff Bezos. So that's cool. Here's a fun little tidbit. A new PRRI survey finds that 46% of Republican voters believe the United States military should round up undocumented immigrants and put them in detention camps until they can be deported. President Trump has suggested that he'll use the military in immigration raids and turn to a 1798 law to put immigrants in camps. His base appears to support those plans despite the likely fierce opposition from most Americans. And these are people who are pro-life and describe themselves as Christians. I did a TikTok. I may have to dredge this one up. I did a TikTok a few months ago where I looked up like all the Bible quotes of how you're supposed to treat immigrants and refugees and aliens to your lands. And spoiler alert, you're not supposed to round them up with the military and put them in detention camps. Yeah, the Bible's the exact opposite of that. Lots of So driving down today, I listened to a couple podcasts. And one that I listened to, the New York Times puts out a daily podcast, which weirdly enough is called The Daily. And it was like a 45-minute long kind of eulogy, I guess, discussion with New York Times reporter Peter Baker about Jimmy Carter. It was extremely interesting. It was really, really interesting, and it contained a lot of stuff that I didn't know about Jimmy Carter. I was 8 years old when he got elected in 1976. I did send him a letter, and I got an autographed letter in return, because I had also done that with his predecessor, Gerald Ford. But those two presidential letters were lost many, many years ago. But if you want to hear a really good discussion about Jimmy Carter, just listen to today's episode with Peter Baker. The podcast is just called The Daily from the New York Times. It was really good. Donald Trump has fully endorsed Mike Johnson for Speaker. Hang on. Excuse me. Man, the restaurant bar that I was in earlier when I was watching the football game, I don't know what was going on in that place, but I walked in there, and immediately my entire head just was stuffed up and like pressurized. So I've been recovering from that for a couple hours. So Donald Trump put out, I guess it was like an all caps posting on Truth Social, basically saying Republicans better not fuck up my agenda by failing to elect a speaker this coming Friday, because the new Congress returns this coming Friday, January 3rd. And they have to elect a new speaker before they can do anything else, before even the new members can get sworn in. They have to have a speaker. And because the margin is so close, assuming, so it's 220 to 215. Matt Gaetz resigned, so it's 219 to 215. Trump picked two Republicans to serve in his cabinet. They have not been confirmed yet. So until they get confirmed, it'll be 219 to 215. And, you know, Republicans need 218 votes to pass anything. There are already two Republican members who said they're not going to vote for Mike Johnson to be speaker. And if they stick with that, that's that. Mike Johnson won't be speaker. There is no obvious candidate to succeed Mike Johnson. And so it's a possibility that we'll be looking, because they have to elect a speaker on Friday or over the weekend, because next Monday, a week from today, is January 6th. And that's the date that the House and Senate are supposed to convene jointly and certify Donald Trump's electoral count win. And if they can't do that and it gets delayed, that'll be funny. But then Elon Musk put out a tweet saying, I fully support Mike Johnson for speaker. But then he retweeted a tweet from Kentucky Republican Thomas Massie, who said, I'm not voting for Mike Johnson and nothing's going to change my mind. And he gave reasons why. Elon Musk retweeted that and said, you may be right. I guess we'll have to see how this plays out. So here we are, you know, Elon Musk is running Congress. That's cool. I'm sure that's going to work out great. So, okay. That's news update number 1 on Monday, December 30th at 10:15 p.m. I hope everybody had a good day.